Hey everyone, my name is Andre, and I wanted to do a quick video just talking about the Trump mugshot that just came out. I don't usually talk about stuff like this on my channel, but I think that it is a pretty big deal in terms of the presidency, and as a channel that seemingly can't get away from talking about the presidency, I thought that it would be fitting to at least comment on a little bit. This video isn't going to have the production value of my usual videos, it's just kind of a sit-down discussion. It's really weird to have known that a picture that's going to be so iconic was coming before the fact. I don't think that happens very often in history, when this picture that you know is going to be iconic has all this built-up anticipation for it. I think that regardless of what side of the political spectrum you're on, you have to admit that the first mugshot of a United States president coming out is pretty bad. I think it sort of speaks to a loss of faith that's happened in the presidency as of late. This is a subject that I touched on in my last Great President video, which I'm pretty proud of, so you should go check it out. But I think that in general, we're sort of in a weird time with the presidency right now. If you look back in the day, we had a sort of era of great presidents where we had FDR, Truman, Roosevelt, and Kennedy back to back, and that all changed when my boy Lyndon Johnson came into office. If you know this channel at all, you know that I'm obsessed with LBJ, but I would have to say that his presidency was definitely a turning point for America and the loss of trust in the presidency. Vietnam and his handling of it in particular was just extremely shady, and it made people a lot less confident that the president was doing the right thing, which was sort of something new for the time, and that's really funny looking back on right now considering where we're at politically. After Johnson, you of course had Richard Nixon, which just threw presidential credibility out the window. There was this instant where everybody just watched their president basically be confirmed as a crook, and I don't think that we really reckon with how impactful that must have been for the time. Gerald Ford, of course, pardoned Nixon, so we never ended up seeing any sort of mugshot like we did with Trump, and I think that it genuinely does beg the question of what's best for the country. Is it pardoning a leader that did something wrong, or is it convicting them? And that's a question that I don't think any of us really have the answer to, just because we don't really know what it looks like yet. This has never happened in the entire history of our country. But with Johnson and Nixon, there was sort of a loss of confidence in the presidency that didn't really come back until Ronald Reagan came in with his charisma and his Reagan-ness and just sort of made people believe in the presidency again. Everything, of course, changed again when the Bill Clinton-Monica Lewinsky scandal happened. I think knowing that the president lied and in such a salacious manner was really new, and I don't think that's something that we've ever really come back from. After Bill Clinton, of course, we had Bush Jr., who was a character in his own right, and who lied about WMDs in Iraq, which definitely didn't help people's confidence in the presidency. Bush was goofy in a way that I think no other president had really been before, and it sort of made people reckon with maybe having a president that wasn't that smart. There's the pendulum theory of American presidents, which basically says that every president is basically the polar opposite of the last one. So the opposite of Bush was Obama, this very well-spoken, intelligent guy, but that didn't change the fact that a lot of people sort of felt left behind by his presidency. And I think that definitely didn't help with the confidence people have in the office. Everything that's happened afterward has sort of just contributed more and more to our division. I think back to that time cover of Trump from when he was first elected president that says, "President of the Divided States of America," and man, they were really cooking with that one. I think that the Trump era has certainly been one of division, and I think that we're still living in the Trump era, even though Trump's not president anymore, which basically just speaks to his sort of strength as a political figure. I've been hearing about Trump getting arrested and Trump being a crook or whatever since Trump first came onto the scene in American politics when I was 14, so it's really weird to actually just be here where we are today. I don't really know what to expect from American politics right now, which is something that a lot of people in my field wouldn't usually admit. I'm honestly just kind of flabbergasted and dumbfounded by everything that's going on with all the Trump indictments and how unpopular Biden is. I really just have no idea where this country's going, man. This is gonna be an interesting election, man. The fact that Donald Trump is probably going to end up being the Republican nominee 3 times in a row is freaking insane. And I really just, like, this is the funniest era to come up in, and I really don't know what comes after Trump, because everything in our politics has been so defined by whether you're against Trump or whether you're for Trump. Even his primary opponents just talk about him and their candidacies in relation to him, who can defend him more, who can be the most against him. And there just hasn't been a figure that's defining in American politics in a long time. I don't think that anyone has changed American politics the same way that Trump has in a really long time. In a lot of ways, I think he is sort of like a modern Reagan, where the entire party is just based around him. Everything just kind of takes the shape that Trump gives it. And that's impressive. And now there's a mugshot of him. And this is going to contribute to the presidency being even less trusted, probably. I don't know if we are going to have a sort of second Reagan figure who's someone who would sort of define politics around him in like a positive way. I think that Trump has defined politics, but very much in a negative way. If you look back on the American Carnage speech, he was the first sort of candidate to be, not even candidate, he was president at that point, but he was his first sort of president to be like, things are getting worse. Things are definitely getting worse, and the country is doing bad right now. And that's just insane. I know there's conversations about national identity and just the country is sort of decaying as a whole, which I don't know what I buy into. I don't know if I really buy into that. But I know that it's certainly friggin' weird, man. I hope that you appreciate this sort of conversation. This is just my 2 cents on it. I wanted to kind of jot down my thoughts at this moment. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video and go check out some other ones. Like and subscribe.